Welcome to the Center for Transformation Institute podcast, where we are uniting therapists everywhere for personal and professional growth. Your journey starts here, at the place therapists grow.
Alex, it's great to have you here. I'm so glad that we get to have this conversation today.
Same. It's always good to be with you.
Yes, so good. So, Alex, you're one of the therapists on our team here at the Center for Family Transformation, and you're our newest member. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you do and who you are and all the good stuff?
Sure. Yeah. So I get to have the privilege of working as a therapist. So I think that's such a beautiful extension of who we are as people who want to love others well, and to not leave them into some relative distress they might be in. So working in the capacity of a therapist is such a beautiful privilege to walk alongside people who are facing challenges in life and to seek to be a force of good in that and to let them know they're not alone and that there is hope. So it's been a privilege for me to work with individuals, with children, with parents, pursuing more hope, more joy. Who doesn't want to do that? So,
That's right. Who doesn't want that? Yeah, so we've enjoyed having you here at CFT in the last 6 months. You've come on the team. We recruited you from Tennessee, where you were there working at the ranch, right? A
mhm.
children and doing some really great work there.
Yes, that's right. For just over a decade, I had the privilege of serving at a children's ministry, working with kids that came from difficult backgrounds, situations of crisis, not of their own doing. So getting to love on them day in and day out, in a counseling capacity, was truly a privilege that stretched me and grew me, in ways that I'm very thankful for.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. So I know that you were there for quite some time, and we're honored to have you here. The 8 therapists at our office, have enjoyed having you as a part of the team. You
Mm.
really create a sense of fun and also a sense of just raising the caliber of what we do here. And
Mm.
so I know that one of the reasons I started the conversation with you about moving here to North Carolina is because you had already known some about the life model. And as a life model informed practice, I was really looking for therapists who were open at least to learning more or or who knew about the model. And you already did. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about how you learned first about the model and what basically your life model story?
Sure, yeah. I'll always think of fondly where our colleague Kyle Furlick was texting me in the months leading up to me joining the Center for Transformation here in Charlotte and to work alongside with you. Uh, Dr. Jim Wilder was actually at my home in Tennessee, hiking in the Smokies. So, and me texting him, yeah, I know about him, and he's actually at my house right now. And of course, he said, no, no way. Are you joking? And I said, well, let me send you a picture of him. And he was just, what's happening right now? So that beautiful coincidence was humorous to say the least, but that's not how I got introduced to the life model. So I had somewhat of a gradual introduction to the life model through the steady investment of Dr. Karen Struble. So she studied under Dr. Jim Wilder. He supervised her as she became licensed. So I initially got introduced to her in college. She was one of my psychology teachers. After college, when I served in ministry at the ranch, she was kind to meet with me, sometimes weekly, bi-weekly, to offer insight. And a lot of times, in her insight, she would make a lot of references to life model concepts. She would highlight the importance of joy in relationships and would suggest ways that I could cultivate that in my life, in my practice, and as well as teaching it and sharing it with the staff that are running the homes where I was serving. It really was a worthwhile pursuit. And when engaged in those principles that she was sharing with me, it impacted everyone positively. So I soon began reading Living from the Heart That Jesus Gave You, Rare Leadership, and a number of other books that Dr. Karen Struble would wait for my birthday to come up or my anniversary to come up, and she would just faithfully send me another book and another book. So that's how I got introduced. And I'm still reading books and I'm still growing, and it's been very informative and life-changing, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah. So you come by it naturally, and that you were connected to Dr. Struble, and she just came
Mhm.
at you with all this information and gifting you with the books. And so there's been a gradual process. At what point in the journey of
Mm.
learning about the model did you realize, or did you recognize this is something unique? I mean, you were learning a lot of different things, right? 10 years
Mhm.
at a home for children, you're having to learn all these techniques and modalities and such. But at what point did you think, hey, there's really something to this?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, thank you for asking that. I think really even from early on, from the start, the life model principles, for example, being in right relationship with our Creator, and then from the love that we receive from Him, and that identity being enabled to love others around us well. The life model felt like an extension of who I already was. It just kind of gave me an order to my otherwise chaotic energy of just seeking to love others well. It just helped me to do that in an informed way by taking a peek at neurology, understanding neu concepts from neurology with a theological lens was really informative. So yeah, I saw firsthand the impact of pursuing joy in my own life and helping others do the same, how the life model encourages us to do. Without prompting, I've had multiple clients share that life model informed therapy has had a direct and positive impact on their life, at times even more significant than past prolonged counseling services that they've received. So I guess you could say the proof is in the pudding. So,
Yes, so true, right? So true. And so as you're learning, you thought, oh, there's something very unique about this. And while it incorporates a lot of research and various modalities that we do know, plus the biblical truth that we're well grounded in, we recognize it's like the combination of all of it is really helpful. And so I'm really interested in how you've interacted with the life model in a way personally that has brought forth some of those unique factors.
mhm, mhm. Yes. So, besides reading and internalizing the concepts that were presented to in the books that are provided to us from the life model folks, pursuing the steps of life model informed therapy as I'm going through the steps with clients before me, there's a beauty of becoming sharper in them myself. For example, if I'm walking through helping someone calm their nervous systems, at the same time, the neurological pathway for me in my own brain of finding peace, calm, and joy by using the same skills I'm teaching, I'm becoming sharpened as an individual, even as I'm teaching them to the client that's before me. And oftentimes, as I'm discussing the principles with them, the things that I hear from my clients has been, yes, please. Can I have some of that? And then more, please. So they can't wait to get to the details and to receive those things. So yeah, it's been a blessing to be sharpened, even as I'm attempting to sharpen others and to equip others.
Right. Yes. And so you're getting sharpened. You feel like you're sharpening others as well, that professionally this is something you're able to give to the clients that
Mm,
really is impacting their life.
correct. Yes. I when I think of what's special about LMIT, the analogy of our life can be thought of as a 6 foot by 6 foot plot. It's a garden that we have to tend, and there's things in that garden because we live in a world that's not perfect. There's seeds we didn't plant of hurt and trauma, and sometimes they're deep underground. Sometimes they have already sprouted weeds we don't appreciate. Um, Going through the things and implementing the life model principles and living by them is not only like planting good seeds that sprout good fruit, but if we know that trauma can be triggered and we can have a negative response to that, it's almost like sowing healthy and positive triggers that grow joy and peace. And we're purposely and intentionally thinking of a memory of appreciation and gratitude, which then takes us to a state that's very much like the opposite of where trauma takes us. So, is being faithful to our garden plot, to plant good things and to tend to the beautiful flowers that are already there.
That's right. Wow. Well said, Alex. Yeah, so true. And you've been one of the clinicians at the office who's taken on some of the research participants recently. And I
Mhm.
know that you've been applying some of this with them and seeing some really great results as
Mhm.
well, right? So we're expecting some of that research to come out saying, yes, life model informed therapy works.
Yes, that's correct. It's been a blessing to apply it, and it's been just a blessing to sit there across from a client who's just on their own wanting to tell me how positively they've been impacted by going through very, very simple steps. I mean, these things aren't complicated to learn and internalize and put into practice. I think that's in part what's so helpful to the client and also easy to the professional to implement and to teach to the client.
Yes. So life model's been out for a while, right? Decades.
Mhm.
And for us to be able to not just take in the information, but now to put it into a therapeutic modality with some hands-on interventions and techniques that we can use with clients has been a powerful experience. And you've been saying, I mean, some of the things you're saying in our team meetings about things that the clients have said about how impactful
Mhm.
um, the interventions have been. It's been, it kind of takes your breath away. Like, wow, this is good stuff. So I'm excited that
Mhm.
you were willing to have this little interview today and, tell the other therapists who are listening about how this has impacted you personally and how you've been utilizing it with your clients. Thanks so much, Alex. It was really good to talk.
Thank you. It's good to see you. And I'm very thankful to continue to grow in all things LMIT.
That's right. Awesome. Great. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of The Place Therapists Grow. We hope you will join us again next week. To expand your knowledge and continue your growth journey, go to cftinstitute.com and take our introductory course to find out how the life model can enhance your life and your clients' lives too. We look forward to continuing to learn and grow with you. See you next time.